than they did in qualifying, and we look to Ian Lowry. Lowry winding the animal, R6 up, and he is going to be an animal. Not a bad start from him as he pulls it across the nose, but that looked like from the middle of the grid Mark Pollock, who might have just beaten him to the draw at Allard. We'll have to wait till we get down to the complex to actually identify that properly. So 15 laps on these bikes around here. It's going to be hectic into this first turn. We're going to have to wait and see exactly what happens. Usually skittles, I have to say. Nobody tripping each other up at that point. Brilliant. They're all through. I hope they all make it on this opening lap.
Ian Lowry clean away at the front there on that animal bike. It's an incredible animal bike, getting all the publicity at the front of this.
Yeah, that was a good move for them to come in and spot.
Someone down
rolling
there
over in the middle of the road, and that's just what you don't want on the opening lap. But I'm afraid it's almost inevitable when you get that many motorcycles trying to fit through the complex. Everyone jostling for position. Some have got to lose out. Ian Lowry, what is he on?
Well, he's got brilliant riding style. I love the way he works his body position on these bikes, and it's so important, especially when the tyres are cool. He gets his body off the side of the bike and keeps the bike upright, and it just keeps it really safe and still carry that corner speed. Billy McConnell that's in second, the Australian rider that's second.
Under pressure. I tell you what, that's not a bad ride at all from Rose. I mean, James Rose has come right the way through there for that position. I'm impressed. James Rose, bike 28, I'm sure that is. He was started on the third row in 10th place, but I may have misidentified him on that shot.
Mark Pollock, the other Irishman on the front row, he's back in 5th place, so that's not a bad start for him.
I'll tell you what, though, a little bit slack. Ian Lowry down towards the club chicane. He found himself, into Allard. You really don't want to have it coming together there. And he's forced his way through. It is Rose that's gone through. So the 28 bike, James Rose on the Sean Rose Racing R6, superbly. Remember, all of these guys are allowed a little bit of private sponsorship, so if we refer to a sponsor, it's because they have a little bit of backing from outside as well, which offsets their entry and their 18,000 pounds. Oh, right down the middle of the track, number 20 it is. Big trouble for Daniel Hegarty. Well, Daniel Hegarty then limps out of the way. Well, he only started road racing in 2003. Here we are a year and a half on, and he's finding the pain of road racing as well. So Daniel Hegarty out.
Well, it could have been a lot worse. He was stranded there in the middle of the track for a while. You see him coming out of Seagrave here. Sorry, out of Cobb. Just loses it through that left there. The bike pummels him in the back. Oh, he just missed by a few riders.
Yeah,
there,
he was very lucky then.
Fortunately, so he's okay.
The wheel-to-wheel racing.
Michael Rose.
Down. Michael Rose again, round the outside. In fact, I called him James Rose because that's his name. Is it Michael Rose?
Definitely got that number 28 bike more in the move than Ian Lowry. Ian Lowry, super smooth, really cautious but very fast rider.
It's difficult when you've got all these roses growing on you.
Oh, yeah, you had to say that.
Michael Rose is out there as well on bike 56. James Rose is on bike 28.
Billy McConnell in 3rd position there on the Tamworth Yamaha, just watching, observing, watching the show going on at the front. He's got Mark Pollock right on his tail. Mark Pollock up from 54th into the complex.
Watch out for John Boy Lee. He's got a drive-through penalty. John Boy Lee has got a jump start, so a ride-through penalty for him. He'll be nowhere in the reckoning, and that's a disaster for the man who's 4th in the championship so far. And there's no way of catching up once you've had a ride-through here.
Ian Lowry back to the front. Got a nice gap again.
77 Christian Attu on the Christian Attu Racing R6. He's there in the fastest lap at the moment, 1:23.403. I'm just scratching around. 1:23.403 is a second outside Daniel Bray's Yamaha R6 Cup, as it was known last year, lap record. So a long way to go before they get near the lap record.
Ian Lowry is very mature in this series, considering they're all young riders. Michael Rose is a bit more, he's got a bit more of a riding style you'd expect, because all these riders very youthful, quite inexperienced, but there he goes down the outside this time into the final chicane. Got it sideways, wiggling around, goes a little bit wide, but he's managed to pull it back through the chicane. Ian Lowry now in 2nd, Billy McConnell in 3rd.
Well, it's all happening at the front of the Virgin Mobile Cup, and through has gone James Rose to take the lead past the pits. And that is really going to be something that they're all going to be shouting and screaming about. James Rose, Michael Niblett now has the fastest lap, 1:22.7. So 1:22.7, that's only 2/10 outside of Daniel Bray's lap record. Michael Niblett is on the move, but he's got a lot of work to do from where he is in 8th place at the minute. Only lap 4 of 15. Think we're going to get wrecked in here, Neil?
I think we are. Should I be calling him James Rose then? Have you decided on James Rose?
28 is James Rose.
Not Michael Rose.
Michael Rose is out there as well, but he's on 56.
all right.
But you can call him what you like when he's leading. I'm sure he'll be happy.
I only saw one rose. My apologies. Michael and James.
And I don't think they're related in any way either. So we're just unlucky with the amount of roses. But no problem at all. James Rose out front. Look at that, 133 miles an hour. These are standard motorcycles, remember. There is no tuning mods at all done to them on standard tyres. It could not get much more basic as far as racing goes.
James Rose, this is where he was strong on the previous laps, but look at Billy McConnell. Is that Mark Pollock? It's like Mark Pollock down the outside there.
It does look like Pollock.
It certainly is.
Mark Pollock on the Walsh Motors Yamaha.
Well, he got the drive in the slipstream out of church.
Interesting to see what they do when they get across the line. Who's got the quickest laps? Oh, dear me. Well, Michael Niblett still hangs on in there, but it was Pollock's personal best, as it was Ian Lowry's personal best on that last lap. Worth keeping an eye on lap times, because these young men are finding some of them are finding their way around Thruxton in a race for the first time, of course. Not a lot of testing done at Thruxton, a couple of track days in the year, but you can't really come here and testing. A lot of noise restrictions, planning restrictions locally, and it really is a bit of a nightmare from a motorcycle point of view to have such a big race meeting here without the access to testing that you would normally get on racetracks around the country.
Yeah, no track days, no testing here at Thruxton. Pretty severe noise restrictions there as Ian Lowry.
Straight up underneath him, one of the quickest turns on the course. You're coming round to the quickest turn on the course now.
That's Mark Pollock round the outside. Ian Lowry now heading down to church. Very fast corner. Someone on the grass.
I cannot believe that. Someone right out wide there. But that is incredible.
There's no grip out there.
125 mile an hour on the grass. Down into the club chicane.
Mark Pollock strong in there. You can see him.
James Rose out
looking for a way underneath. Yeah.
James Rose was out a bit hot there, and you were right. Pollock very, very strong on the way in, held his line brilliantly and just stuffed it underneath.
I think he was always coming through. This is heading down to church.
Who was it?
Someone on the grass, on the dirt. There we go. Ooh, yellow helmet.
Was that...
Looked like Adam Jenkinson.
Adam Jenkinson, I was going to say, it looked like Adam Jenkinson. That style of the way he hangs on the bike. He won't be hanging on to it for much longer if he decides to go on that.
Oh, he's getting treatment now from Ian Lowry. James Rose has been exchanging pit. He's been buffeted everywhere. Never mind it being windy here at Thruxton.
Good chance for Mark Pollock though to get away while these two trip each other up.
It really is.
And again coming through Noble. These boys are going to go out on that dirt.
Does red mist phrase spring to mind?
Well, I think that Ian Lowry is not taking any prisoners, and well, 28 James Rose is giving it back just as good as he's getting it.
There is no lack of bravery goes on here. No one can pass it Noble in the normally, or no one would attempt to pass, but these guys don't care. I think that's for the dirt, from spray or some stones from Adam Jenkinson.
Won't argue with that.
Oh, this is...
Oh, they're riding, absolutely.
Yeah. They're having a conversation.
Well, you won't want to be looking up because that will slow the bike down by about 5 mile an hour. And into the club chicane again, it's Lowry that sticks it underneath James Rose. But they have been joined by Adam Jenkinson, who's picked up that place, or has he? Number 11 Jenkinson, silver leathers, white helmet. Well, he was on the dirt a moment ago, now he's in the thick of the action at the front of the field. This is the Adam Jenkinson from old. Last year, this is what we expected from him.
And this is the sort of racing we expect from the Virgin Mobile Cup. Unusual that Mark Pollock's been able to pull away at the front, but that's really because all this gang of sixes having the tussle behind, he's managed to get a gap.
New lap record for Michael Rose on bike 56. So Michael Rose, James Rose is in third place on bike 28. Michael Rose on bike 56 has now broken the lap record held by Danny Bray, and that is a time of 1:22.463.
Well, Michael Rose back there in 7th position, but you just see he's got a mega slipstream up to the chicane, and that's what's given him that fastest lap.
Dear me, it's a job to keep up with this at the moment.
Exit to Noble there, not the... Was it exit to Village?
No, that was exiting the right-hander, which is...
oh, there's handbags.
Was that Seagrave? Did they come out of the complex? Are they at Seagrave, the right-hander before Noble? Well, you've got to say, it was bound to happen.
Yeah, there was a lot of exchanging of paint going on there. Let's certainly split them up a little bit. Ian Lowry there in 2nd place. James Rose in 3rd. Billy McConnell in 4th.
Still out front though, as we come to start lap 8. Mark Pollock, while all this is going on behind him, is easing away at the front. He's not putting in the quickest laps of the race, but he doesn't have to. He's just consistent. We're through Allard now. take another look at this. Oh, he took his line and basically one guy was turning in as the other guy was on a slightly wider line, and they just had a 6 or 1.5 dozen of the other incident. But 2 motorcycles barrel rolling means expense.
That was the entrance to Seagrave, right?
It was the entrance to Seagrave, yeah. As it turns out.
Mark Pollock, as you said, not breaking the lap record, but setting his own personal best laps really smooth. He's in a rhythm now.
Well, he was just outside of the old lap record. That's now held by Michael Rose. Daniel Bray held it from last year's race here. We're through Church Corner. Still it is James Rose and that man, Ian Lowry, battling for second place. Still Mark Pollock off the front. And you've got to say, with we're on lap 8 of 15, that's a good lead that Pollock has got. And as long as these two keep interfering with each other... Oh, look at this! Almost touching as they came out of Church and onto the Woodham Hill section, up now to the club chicane. And round the outside is possible, but you've got to be confident to do it. Lowry has a look at it. He's out on the berm, but he's not going to be able to pull it in.
James Rose is strong in the brakes into the final chicane there.
Holds his line very nicely, I think, into there, despite the fact he's trying to scrub a load of speed off on the front end.
In this race, it's best to be at the back coming out of Church, in the slipstream.
Well, eventually you've got to be in the front coming out of Church, I think, but you're right. When it comes to the scraps down into the braking area that it is the club chicane, from the fastest part of the course to the slowest part of the course, always gives us a bit of an entertaining afternoon. Lap 9 of 15. Still, I look to see who has had... In fact, James Rose had his personal best as he crossed the line last time round speed-wise, so he's building up 22.471. And that is just outside the new lap record. So you really got to say, James Rose there in second place, the first rider in your picture at the moment, 28. The Animal yellow bike is back in third place now with the pole sitter Ian Lowry on it, the Brands Hatch winner. And it looks to me like James Rose has at last managed to break the toe from Lowry.
Mark Pollock 1.7 seconds in front, but you know, it only takes a slightest little slide, the slightest little moment for him to lose that momentum, and out in front can be the most difficult position to be. Your mind can wander, you can think about what you're having to eat, where you parked your car, but hopefully Mark Pollock will keep his focus and maintain that gap. Let's check it over the line this time.
You're going to have a bit of a job where you can't remember where you parked your car here at Thruxton.
Well, that's just me.
I know, it's probably age though. Pollock, I think he is absolutely wheel perfect. 2.4 seconds in front of James Rose from Ian Lowry. Adam Jenkinson now comes into the equation. Just 3/10 off the rear end of Ian Lowry. Adam Jenkinson closing his way in fourth place. That is second, third and fourth we're looking at there. And look at Jenkinson into the complex. Watch out for bike 11, silver leathers, white helmet, the third of these three. Into the right-hander that is Seagrave. We've already seen 2 of them go tumbling out just there.
Adam Jenkinson, many of the paddock pundits' favourites for this championship this year. Won quite a few races last year, got injured towards the end of the season, and he's back with a bang this year. Didn't get on the podium at Brands.
Oh, look at that, Brendan Roberts. Well, Brendan Roberts, where is Brendan Roberts? He's 7th at the moment on bike 42. He has put in a 22.1, and that has just blitzed the lap record here. Both the existing one and the new one that was put in just a little while ago today. So Brendan Roberts is the lap record holder at the moment here at Thruxton for the Virgin Mobile Cup boys. A lot of slipstreaming going on here, but Adam Jenkinson seemingly, well, almost arrogantly not going to go into a slipstream down that straight, but that was, oh look though, he didn't need it. Drifts up the inside of Ian Lowry.
Nice.
What kind of move was that? He didn't bother with any slipstream at all, just did it all on the brakes when he got to the chicane.
I reckon it was Michael Niblett who was on the grass. I just see him in the background there. He's in 6th position. He is the guy with the yellow helmet. I reckon it was him that was out wide going into Church. Got to put money on Adam Jenkinson here for second position.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Mark Pollock might well have just about done enough. We're on lap 11 of 15. It's a long way around here, and you're right about a mistake. Mark Pollock, if he starts reading his board and sees Alan Jenkinson closing in on his board, maybe he'll make a mistake that man there, Jenkinson, can take advantage of. But Jenkinson's got a little bit of work to do just yet, because he's got to go past James Rose on the 28 bike first.
And we know how strong James Rose is at the chicane.
Well, that's going to be interesting, because Adam Jenkinson just happens to be quite good there too.
Very smooth. He's the kind of rider that'll get a good drive through Church and out of Church. You've got to think he'll be strong into the club chicane.
Still Brendan Roberts that has the fastest lap and the lap record now, bike 42 in 7th place.
Down to Church, Jenkinson in the slipstream of Rose. Through Church smoothly. gets tucked in. He's a big lanky lad, but he's underneath James
bother.
Rose there. Didn't even bother with Slipstream.
He doesn't bother with Slipstream, does he, Adam Jenkinson? He didn't the last lap, but of course it might be duffed up when he gets down here.
I don't think there's any question.
James Rose bothered himself with a bit of Slipstream as Adam Jenkinson looks to the outside line, but again, James Rose seems to be able to turn that motorcycle and keep it on line, even when he's into the chicane quite hard.
Adam Jenkinson, a bit of discretion there, just sat tight, bolted himself on to the back of James Rose as best he could, and he'll maybe have a different approach on the next lap. He's certainly running out of laps to do anything about Mark Pollock.
I think Mark Pollock is away at the moment. He's 2.6 seconds in front of James Rose as they cross the line on lap 12. Through the complex now, and just a little bit of a twitch coming from the rear end of the motorcycle as he asks for the power to go down. James Rose, I'm talking about a bit more there as well. So 21 gets blitzed. 21 is John Eastwood, just being lapped, and it hasn't affected the race leaders too badly. Pollock out front, he hasn't been held up at all by the back markers.
It's going to be interesting to watch Adam Jenkinson. He had to go at the chicane, he had to go through Church. He's faster through Church than James Rose, but he lost out at the chicane. He really has to set him up differently if he wants to get that second position.
Well, to be honest, he's not thinking, is he? If he just hung back a little bit on the run into Church, he'd be able to pull a little bit more mile an hour through there, and then he'd have a gigantic great piece of slipstream to suck himself into. He's not thinking about it, is he?
Keep it tight into the chicane. Well, maybe he is.
You don't need it. It's just that I was always lazy when I raced a motorcycle, so if there was a possibility of getting a lovely big long slipstream, then I'd rather do that than the push and shove and the handbag session at the chicane.
Well, I tend to disagree when you say Adam Jenkinson isn't a thinker, because I think he's a very smooth...
Very smooth.
Well, what was I saying?
Well, you were stood next to Murray Walker a little earlier on in the day.
Oh dear. Michael Niblett bringing up the rear there, the yellow helmet on. Uh-oh, it's not over yet.
I don't know what is over, but Adam Jenkinson really in the thick of it at the minute.
I'm going to stick by my guns and put my money on Adam Jenkinson.
For second place?
Yes.
Well, I think you're right. I'm not going to argue with you, but I still think that he needs to think a little bit more about Church. He's quicker through Church Corner than just about any of the guys around him. And now he's out on his own, he won't need to worry about slipstream, but really, to give himself that extra little bit of an advantage, be 1 or 2 mile an hour fast through Church, be 20 yards back behind the guy in front of it. You red flag, we've got a red flag.
Oh, that'll be a result for the lap before.
Yeah, Virgin Mobile Cup then will be called a result from the lap before. We'll wait for the confirmed result of that. Mark Pollock will of course be the winner, but Adam Jenkinson might find himself back in third place.
Yeah, he went over the line second. I think it will be taken back to the...
Till they all went across the line. I don't think they were all across the line yet. It's slightly technical because the whole field needs to have completed the lap.
You're right.
I think before they counted. So Jenkinson may not have finished second. That's not because Neil Mackenzie said he would. But there was a lot of bodywork in the road just there, I saw a moment ago. This red flag might have been through debris. This might well have been through
down there.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of debris about 100 yards further back.
Yes.
Oh, that is a wrecked motorcycle. Where's that again?
That is a squish motorcycle.
It's an endo barrel roll type. So there we go. It will be Mark Pollock that is the winner. Brendan Roberts gets the fastest lap. Well done, Brendan. That's a great ride from you for the fastest lap and the new lap record, of course. Not that we're going to see much of him now. He was on the 42 bike if you get half a chance to see him. Mark Pollock is confirmed as the winner, of course, because Mark Pollock, well, he battled his way through to the front of the field, and then on the prematurely red flag race, Adam Jenkinson has been awarded that second place. That's going to be critical for his championship. James Rose, who really did have a superb ride, but eventually being pushed out into third place, didn't get a chance to come back because, as I say, the race has been shortened but called a result. Ian Lowry, the pole sitter, just fourth place for him. Billy McConnell, the Australian, probably could have done much better with that than later on in the race. He looked menacing as far as the rest was concerned. Michael Niblett, we think it was him that was doing a bit of grass tracking, still finished in 6th place. Brendan Roberts, fastest lap, new lap record to him in 7th place.